Hi everybody, we hope 2021 is going well for everybody so far. It's going well for us, mainly because we have decided to live on a 3.5 acre nature preserve that we spend a lot of time enjoying, observing, and a little bit of managing. We do less managing than we used to just because our observations have told us we probably don't need to do as much as we thought, but one thing we do a little bit of is mowing, and people often ask us why we mow. There's three main reasons that we have done some mowing. One is to provide a little bit of habitat diversity. As you can see here, there's cedars, dogwoods, and if we didn't mow anything ever, our whole property, being that we're in a humid climate east of the Mississippi, would be turn into woody plants, and which are great. We have a lot of those, but we would be full shade then, and we wouldn't have any open areas that would be suitable for other flowering plants like milkweed and so forth that we want. So we do a little bit of mowing to keep areas open. We do a little bit of mowing so we have a way to walk around. And we do mowing because we have American woodcock that breed here some years, and they like to have open areas. And is that it? So part of the mowing to keep areas open is also to promote certain plants. Like down here on the north end of our property, we have a big patch of common milkweed that gets overtaken by other plants if we don't occasionally mow. So to review, we mow our trails, which you can see the pattern here, I think, walking around the trail. We mow for diversity of habitat, and we mow to promote certain plants like common milkweed. I'm going to slowly scan around here just so you can see there's various pods of vegetation, some open areas that we've mowed and other areas of shrubs. Now, how do we mow? Simple. We have a junky little mower that I paid $375 for used. It's a little Craftsman riding mower. We don't need anything fancy. And I leave the mower deck high, and you can see here it can take out some pretty big plants. I'll put my boot in here for scale. So I can chop that stuff off, no problem. We don't usually let it get that far, but it can take those out. So it's a quick way, without a lot of work, to get to this. And so why don't we do a lot more of that? Wait, back to how. So that's basically it. You don't need a bunch of fancy, expensive equipment, at least on the scale we're doing it, which is we probably maybe mow, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 acre every couple of years. And if you go slow and keep your mower cranked up full throttle and don't run over big stumps and whatnot, you won't have any problems. But I didn't tell you that, so do that at your own risk. But anyway, that's how we do it. And then why do we do it? I said why. How, why, when? When do we do it? We don't mow unless it's February or March. Or no, really more like January, February. This year we mowed in January. Mainly because you do a lot less damage to various critters that might be living in the areas that you're mowing, including overwintering insects in the larval stage and maybe other stages that I'm not aware of. But so we usually mow in the winter, and that's due to some research we've done based on other people's actual research, that's the best time to do it. And also the soils here that time of year, if there's frost, are solid enough that I won't get stuck with the mower. And so how often do we mow? Like I said a minute ago, every year, every couple years on some of these. And the more we observe, the less often we mow. And that's because the more we observe, the more interesting these patches of especially woody plants get, not only for us to look at, but also for various wildlife to use. For example, we've had birds nesting more successfully in these, sorry about the cars, in these little copses of plants, because there's a variety of types of plants, some deciduous, some coniferous, some vines, some thorny things, and then it all kind of mixes together and creates a more safe habitat for nesting birds. And one thing, and I don't think we have any right in this view, and I'm not going to move around due to the lighting, but we have a plant here that comes up on its own called climbing rose or prairie rose, and it's a native rose that comes up here on its own, and it'll climb up into these dogwood shrubs and cedar trees and create a great thicket that provides protection for nesting birds. So if we were to mow clean all the time, we would not know that we even had those roses. Whereas if we mow and wait, we can see those roses coming up and then mark them, and then the next time we mow, we can go around them and train them up into a woody copse. So to review, we mow for our habitat and trail reasons. We mow with a cheap lawnmower, and we mow in the winter and not very often. We also learn a lot because we read a lot, and we also observe a lot. Some of the resources that we use a lot that have helped us the most are Xerces Society, which is ZERCES.org. They're a great group that does a lot of research on pollinators. And a researcher named Heather Holm, Holm, she's also done a lot of great research on pollinators, specifically bees, but others too. And Doug Tallamy, who probably a lot of you already have heard of. Doug Tallamy, T-A-L-A-M-Y, and he's done tons of research and outreach on creating habitat at your very own home. So check out those folks, those resources. And if you do any mowing, I guess my advice would be to start small. Try to do it in your area where it's suggested it does the least damage to other life, and then observe, take notes, and wait, and then see what comes back, how your mowing is, how the vegetation is responding to your mowing, how the critters are responding to your mowing, and then the next time you mow, you can use that information to do a more thoughtful job and hopefully have the best results possible. So hopefully this helps. We'll probably do more over time on mowing because it seems to be a complex topic that gets confusing for people. But anyway, for now, signing off.